They're most unappreciated employees at any football club because nobody sees them.
Scouts are the cornerstone of every sports organisation. Historically, these men travel thousands of miles hoping to find a diamond in a dustbin. Nowadays, though, the industry is in a revolution with the emergence of database scouting methods ushered in by the next generation. In this episode, will the image of the sheepskin coat and flat cap become a thing of the past, or can these two approaches find a way to work together?
Old school scouting is the sort of job that everyone thinks they can do and everyone thinks they know.
They're most unappreciated employees at any football club because nobody sees them.
The person who was the prime mover in getting Raheem Sterling to Liverpool was Mark Anderson.
Raheem was something else. He was 14 years of age, he had flair, he had good body language. Straight away I flagged up that for me he was an A-grade player. He was a player that you don't get that gut feeling about very often. The way that I can identify talent is from previous players. So you resemble a lot of players that you've had over the years to what you see in a player now.
These are the guys who feel the game in their bones.
The first things that I ever look for in a player is the character, the body language, the preparation.
That desire, that hunger to get up when you're hurt in a tackle and you get up and you lunge again to make the block. How much of that can you measure?
Very often those thoughts would stay up here, they'd stay in the scout's head and he'd talk to the manager. There was no visibility of the information that the club was gathering.
Scout 7, along with the 21st Club, are two of the companies at the forefront of this data-led revolution.
The old way can be quite inefficient. There's only a certain amount of hours in the day and a certain amount of resource that's available to you. It's trying to use research to come up with insights that can challenge the received wisdom.
Which leagues should we look at? Where can we start? Where can we actually target places? How can we go, okay, this is where we need to look because we know that there's talent in this area?
One of the biggest challenges when you're trying to identify talent from other leagues to come into your team and see if they can add value is whether or not they can make that adaptation. Where does a Norwegian Premier League player, how does that compare to a League One or a Championship club? It's difficult to do with the eye, but by running data simulations and looking at the problem analytically, then you can get a pretty good sense of the relative strength of all the teams in Europe, which can make the process a lot easier.
Tim Sparv is a Finnish defensive midfield player. That type of player has never been spotted before. We had analytics, who was found in the German second division, was transferred to Midtjylland, and he has been the catalyst in their development from an also-ran small club in Denmark to becoming national champions. He's not the most naturally talented. But there's something about the galvanising effect of a player like that which makes him an essential ingredient within a team by looking at what is called the plus-minus principle. How does that team do when he's in the team, and how does it do when he's out of the team?
It doesn't mean you're always going to be right. That's what's interesting about data, about numbers, and is the idea that by the use of them that you're going to have a 100% success rate in your decision making. All you're trying to do is stack the deck in your favor.
I think old school people will always succeed as long as they don't resist actual knowledge. I mean, I think you can resist and reject as long as you don't become the one guy in the room who doesn't know something.
That conundrum of the young analysts who've come in out of university, the statisticians, and the old school football guys who know their football and you know have been around for a long time. That's it's almost a clash of cultures in a way.
To be most effective, the old and the new need to work in harmony.
The people who see the game in a different way than you do are your best friends and your best resource.
I meet a guy who's 35 years a scout, and I hear people, young boffins at my old club say, oh, get rid of him. Yeah, what does he know? He's got 35 years experience, understands young players, takes the time to look after that young player through recruiting them, meets the mum and dad, sells the club, understands the heart and soul of a club, where the boffins can't do that.
The evolution of technology shouldn't leave these guys behind because their knowledge, their experience is vast and can't be replaced.
The goal here is to predict the future. You know, that's really what you're trying to do. When you acquire a player, you're hopefully acquiring future performance. Now, you will base some of that decision on their past performance. What's built into that model are the many data points which are scouts' opinions, or every piece of information that we can throw in there is going to be a part of that decision-making tree.
It's something that I've taken on board. It's some things that people haven't taken on board, and some people are no longer in the industry.
Often the challenge is just culturally from an organisational perspective, whether you're willing to think in new ways and embrace change.
In our field, we're very prone to thinking we know more than we do, but the old school approach is just as prone to it as we are. They're people who have been in the game for a long time sometimes think they've got everything figured out, and they haven't.